And we are back for another casual conversation with the classic guys. I'm here with none other returning guest, someone from the first bit of interviews I did in 2020 on this series, none other than Frank the Clown. How are we doing today?
Whew, I mean, 4 years, Justin. 4 years. A lot has happened for Frank the Clown in 4 years. A lot has happened for you in 4 years. Congratulations to all.
Thank you.
Not quite as much success as Frank the Clown has, but neither here nor there.
It's a whole different Frank the Clown on the show today. Look at you. You came on here, you had a short haircut, you were hanging out. We got this long, colorful hair. We got the swag. It's insane.
The last time really Frank the Clown's life, not even career, life has been split into two parts. It's normal, dark, clean-cut short hair and long rainbow hair. There's literally two different eras here. So this is the first time we're talking on air in the rainbow hair era. That was like a three kind of legged rhyme there too. But yeah.
That's insane. It's like you just took some shrooms and out came this new Frank.
And this is just my, what's today? Tuesday. This is just my Tuesday casual afternoon outfits. I mean, this is not anything special.
So do you like go out to the grocery store dressed like this? Do we go out in public on a regular basis?
I mean, I go out in public on a regular basis with rainbow hair. That should be enough.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, I wear a lot of rainbow. If you look at my closet, it's a lot of rainbow. It's a lot of sparkles, bedazzled, etc. Frank the Clown has an eclectic style, in and out of the ring. So I'm Frank the Clown 24/7 nowadays, my friend.
That's awesome. What are we up to these days? It's been 4 years. You've been on the scene heavy. I've seen you about everywhere, doing everything, working with so many legends and big names. Where is Frank the Clown mainly today? What is like your home base promotion usually?
The better question is, where isn't Frank the Clown? Because again, we go back to 4 years ago. Frank the Clown was just in, maybe in the Chicagoland area, considering he is the king of Chicago. That is his hometown. But now we have branched out much further than that. Frank the Clown has kind of relocated to the great state of Florida, more specifically Orlando. But he still has his home roots back in Chicago. But regardless, Frank the Clown is traveling every single weekend, whether it's California, go Rams, East Coast, Southwest, North. I haven't been to the Northwest yet, but a matter of time. But Frank the Clown's home promotion was freelance wrestling, still is, and he had left for a while after being the top draw, the top act in the company, whether people want to admit it or not, for years. He had to go away for a little bit, and he just made his return February of this year, and is of course running roughshod at there again with a friend of the show, Trevor Outlaw. But and also now Frank the Clown is down in CCW. CCW, for those who don't know, Coastal Championship Wrestling here in Florida and also in Nashville. They are the last territory, and it's not a lie. They legitimately run like 12 to 15 shows a month every single weekend. They bring in some of the best talent in all the country. It's incredible down there. Of course, I'm like, well, being that I'm in Orlando, I kind of have to take over this entire state. So now it's FTCCW. So I've been working on that over there. But really, Frank the Clown goes wherever the money goes. And wherever Frank the Clown goes, success follows, baby.
Have you got to get in the face of Cha-Cha Charlie yet, or is that...
Yeah, Frank the Clown actually did have one run-in with Cha-Cha Charlie. It was at BRCW, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling, and I actually wore his hat that he's stupid hat that he wears. Sombrero, maybe. I don't want to be insensitive, but I put it on and distracted him, and ended up leading to a victory for my big man Jack Talos. So Frank the Clown 1, Cha-Cha Charlie 0.
Let's talk about Jack Talos, because I met you with him last year in LA, and a great dude. Is that one of the people you manage, or is he like the main guy you manage? Like who are you managing right now?
Yes, so I mean, I have a pretty wide assortment of those that Frank the Clown is quite connected, as you know. In fact, some would say the most connected man in wrestling. People underestimate Frank the Clown's connections, but yeah, Jack. We had kind of linked up a couple years ago at BRCW, and we hadn't met before that. Obviously, mutual friends. But the man is a beast. He is every bit of 7 foot tall. He is every bit about 325 pounds. I may be even underselling him on that. He might text me after he sees this. Dude looks the part. Dude can really just go in the ring. He's an intimidating presence. Great guy. Not to his opponents so much. He's a not so gentle giant to them, but a great friend of Frank the Clown. So we have been with each other now for about over 2 years, 2.5 years down here in Florida over at BRCW. But Trevor Outlaw, my child prodigy. Frank the Clown's been with him for years. He is legitimately Frank the Clown Jr., a graduate of the Nightmare Factory, Cody Rhodes' star pupil. We were over there at Freelance Wrestling. I brought Trevor down to CCW here recently. We were over at Zello Pro before they went out of business. We did not drive them out of business, however. But, in Black Label Pro and a bunch of other places. So really, Frank the Clown's working with a lot of different people. Over at CCW, he's bringing in different names every single month. He had Alex Chamberlain last month, a veteran of the scene, Stallion Rogers, Travis Jacobs. He worked with J-Rod out in the West Coast. He's been with Shaz McKenzie and then has turned on Shaz McKenzie many times. So it's just a revolving door. And it's just a matter of Frank the Clown's a strategist. He sees the matchups. He analyzes the matchups. And he goes into his phone book and a long list of names and he figures out who is the best for that because he's all about them dubs.
100%. Let me ask you this then. What you've been talking about yourself in third person, so it's throwing me off a little bit. But
it's the only way to talk about yourself, Justin. You should try it.
You're like Frank the Clown, and I'm like, wait a minute. We're talking about you. You recently also got to work with Jimmy Hart. Tell me about that experience, because he's an OG manager. Did you learn anything from working with them? Did you pick up any tactics?
Yeah, so I've been in the ring now twice with Jimmy Hart. Neither time it's ended particularly well for me. The first time he had sprayed me with a fire extinguisher. We don't really speak upon that too much. The most recent time, it was one of the wackiest segments that has ever been produced on not just independent wrestling show, on a wrestling show. It was me versus Colt Cabana in an arm wrestling contest in which Colt had the White Sox mascot Southpaw in his corner. If you haven't seen Southpaw, he's like a scary green monster. Doesn't look anything like to be the White Sox mascot, but whatever. I'm a White Sox fan. I just don't like to admit it. And I had Jimmy Hart in my corner, the greatest manager of all time, some would say, until Frank the Clown came around. And during that night, I presented Jimmy Hart with a gift. It was a jacket custom made with Frank the Clown, a very accurate depiction of his body on it, next to Jimmy Hart. And it was colorful. It was exactly what he would wear back with the Hulkster or Brutus Beefcake. And Jimmy didn't seem like he appreciated it too much. In fact, when it was all said and done at the end of the night, Frank the Clown did defeat Colt Cabana in the arm wrestling contest. Let it be known he did. There was definitely no foreign objects used. There definitely was no powder used or anything of that nature. It was fair and square, hand down on a table. But Jimmy then decided to take matters into his own hands and cause a distraction. And he refused to raise Frank the Clown's hand. He disrespected really the new GOAT of managing here in wrestling. And just it ended up with me looking at the lights. But
you specifically mentioned powder, which is interesting. But I gotta ask, and how often have you been in the ring now, like in actual official matches? Because like I said, when we first started talking, you were managing, you're getting into it. I've seen you in the ring. I've seen the videos of you being tossed around. Like, how many matches has Frank the Clown had up to now?
So I think, according to cagematch.net, it's 11 matches, which seems high. But I'm going to break that down where I think 7 of those 11 are like battle royals. And one of them was I believe, 9-second singles match against Matt Cardona for the GCW championship. I'm trying to get that stricken from the record books. My very powerful Jewish lawyers have been working for years to get it removed because technically Frank the Clown has not had a true singles match besides that. So I think there's still money actually in Frank the Clown's first true singles match where he has a heads up and he understands what it takes to be ready for it. But he's been involved in a couple tag team matches. I mean, Mike, if you go on my Frank the Clown's cagematch.net profile, it's insane. The names on there, it's like David Arquette. My first ever match was at Warrior Wrestling back in 2018, 2019. It was Frank the Clown and James Ellsworth versus David Arquette and RJ City. This is a real match that happened on YouTube. You can legitimately watch it. I can't promise you it's a great match, but it's very entertaining. But again, I've been in a match where it was another tag match for GCW and Freelance, where it was me and GPA versus Danhausen and Nick Gage. So again, you throw these names out there, Cardona, and I've had some, it's Circle 6 I've been at regularly now, which is not a place you'd expect Frank the Clown. I've had runs with Casanova Valentine and some of the deathmatch guys over there. So really, I can wear many hats. I don't like to cover this rainbow hair, but Frank the Clown can wear many hats.
Have you ever been in a death match?
So technically, I faced Puff in a single light tube death match. That I don't even need to say anything else. The visual right there is enough.
There's an obvious size difference there. How did that go for you?
Yeah, there was quite a size difference. So it was a single light tube. And again, I don't, with respect to the deathmatch community, I don't consider the death matches true singles matches. So we're just going to say it's in its own little island.
So that one doesn't count because it's a death match.
Yeah.
The Cardona one doesn't count because it's 9 seconds. And to be honest, almost anybody would say if it lasted only 9 seconds, it doesn't count.
It wasn't that either. Yeah. And I also played Casanova Valentine in a death match as well. So, and yes, did I come on the losing end of all of these? Yes. But in the single light tube death match, it was what it was. One light tube was up for grabs. It was one of the bar fights. I did gain hold of the light tube. Now, doesn't mean I win the match. I can just utilize however I want. I had him down. I had him. I low blowed him. I gave him a couple rakes across the back, a rake across the eyes. I loaded up. I swung back, and I hit the wall with the light tube. It exploded all over me. And then from there, it went downhill.
Yeah, didn't even go through it, though. So, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could have been worse.
Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Hey, yo, have you guys heard about 500 Level? They make officially licensed WWE merchandise, and I actually have been working with them on a couple of designs. A design that I worked on recently was with a girl named Caitlin, who's a big Dakota Kai fan, and we designed this new Dakota Kai shirt, which you can get exclusively now at 500 Level. Once again, officially licensed with the WWE. Really wanted a new Dakota Kai shirt. Got this one designed and made, and it's on the website now, on sale now, 500level.com. Guys, join their partnership program. You get discounts the more shirts you buy, 10%, 20%, 30%. You earn points and you get a discount. They have OG shirts, guys. I had to re-up on my NWO shirts on 500 Level, the comfortable material if you get the premium shirts, but even the non-premium is super comfortable. I got NWO shirts. They got Shawn Michaels shirts. You can find some of your favorite wrestlers on there. You can find none other than guys like Razor Ramon, the bad guy. Check out this shirt. It's a sweet, sweet shirt, everybody. 500level.com. Like I said, they have the NWO stuff. And if you're like a big NXT fan, they got shirts for all of your favorite NXT wrestlers. And if they don't, let me know, and I'll make sure we get some shirts made for your favorite NXT wrestler. I went to go support my girl, Carmen Petrovic. You guys can check out our casual conversation on my YouTube channel. You can check out mine and Carmen Petrovic's casual conversation. But 500 Level had a Carmen Petrovic shirt. I had to go support my fellow Canadian and the homie Carmen Petrovic, guys. 500level.com, guys. Check them out. Get premium, officially licensed WWE shirts that you cannot find on WWE shop all the time. They have a huge selection on their website also for MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL. They got shirts for everything, but their wrestling selection is insane. Custom creative designs. Maybe I can work together with someone out there that is an editor that wants to put more designs on their website. Hit me up. 500level.com. Check them out and keep doing the things. Let me talk about Nick Gage really quickly. How is it being in the ring with him?
Not particularly great. Here's Nick Gage is an animal. He's a psychopath. Some would say he's a criminal. I didn't say that. But when that bell tolls, people talk about The Undertaker when the gong hits, right? You feel something. I've been in the ring when the bell tolls for Nick Gage, and it's real. You feel it 100%. You know, Frank the Clown was dancing around, strutting around, but as soon as that bell tolled, everything changed. And I try to avoid him as best as I can nowadays. But yeah, he's real. Everything about Nick Gage is very real.
What show was it where you had that big grand entrance with the helicopter and everything?
So that was at Warrior Wrestling, RIP Warrior Wrestling. But yes, they used to run outdoor shows.
Oh, are they done?
It's a long story.
Okay. Go ahead.
Frank the Clown was Mr. Warrior Wrestling. He had on more Warrior Wrestling shows than anybody else. And as you know, those shows were stacked. I mean, one after another. They ran, I think, 30 shows, and they were insane. But they used to do shows called the Stadium Series, which, especially during the pandemic, they were running outside of the football field at the high school that they would run at. And I got a phone call from those who had run Warrior Wrestling, and we joked around. I always did special entrances there. I came out in a car. I came out in like the big glamorous golf cart, this and that. And I was like, how do I make it bigger? I wanted a tank. Legitimately was looking into tank options. I was calling companies to get a tank. Wasn't as easy as I would have thought it would have been. But they called me, and we always joked about getting a helicopter. And they're like, what if we could get a helicopter? And I said, let's go. So I had gotten kicked out of the show, not once, but twice. So then I decided to take advantage of the helicopter, and we legitimately flew in. It was my first time in a helicopter. I've never been in one since. Frank the Clown is not one for heights, but he sucked it up for the moment. I had my phone, and I was filming down all the peasants on the field that looked like ants. landed right onto the field, came out, microphone in my hands, walked to the ring, talked my shit, left, and went right back to the helicopter and went bye-bye. It was fantastic. Nobody has done that on the Indies, I can tell you that.
No, it was great. It was great. I don't know. That's just a memory that came to me right now. Talking on the mic, talking your shit. Why is that important, and why do you think you're one of the best to do it?
So being, more predominantly a manager, right? I have to rely on my voice. And my voice has always been, to me, louder and better than many others. And with that said, obviously there's a presentation aspect to it. I mean, you look at me, Frank the Clown stands out in the crowd, but that only goes so far. You put a microphone in Frank the Clown's hand, it's power. It gives him the ability to talk you into the building. It gives him the ability to put over the man, the woman that he is standing side by side with for that match. It gives him the ability to, if he wants to, bury his opponent across the ring or talk nicely about them to then only cut their legs out from under them. So my thing has always been, you put a microphone in my hands, I'm going to deliver every single time. In fact, I mean, I don't think anybody on the independents cuts more promos than I do. I would put that up against anybody, and it's not a knock on anybody else, but every single show I'm booked on, and at this point, Frank the Clown's booked every single weekend, I'm cutting promos. Sometimes they ramble on a little bit too long. Sometimes they're not long enough. But Frank the Clown's always finding a way to get a microphone in his hands because it's must-see television, it's must-see box office, and I'll put myself up against legitimately anybody else at this point with a microphone in my hand.
No, I definitely seen it. You are a talker. You're talking right now. You're doing the thing. You got it down. But I just wanted to put the significance on why talking is so important. And I think if you're on the independents, it is something everyone should try to get better at and do as much as they can because it is important. That's a part of selling the story and getting people over and getting yourself over and all of that.
And you make a great point. Like the indies are not built on promos. The indies aren't even really built on stories, right? When a company is running maybe once a month and the crowd kind of changes, like you're always going to have your core audiences wherever you run, if you're running in the same town, the same venue, whatever it may be. But, there's always going to be carryover. There's going to be some that can't make it that weekend due to plans or whatever it may be. And you can't always readily access independent wrestling. There's a lot of different streaming services, but let's just be honest, not a lot of people are watching the indies on a Friday night at 8:00 at home. So people don't get the opportunity to get on the microphone and cut a 5-minute WWE style promo or wherever it may be. And again, every audience is different. It's not always a promotion's cup of tea, but I always encourage those, like, if you have the opportunity, take it. Obviously, clear with the promoter, but make sure that you get your opportunity because matches are great and moves are great and they get gift and they live on for 24 hours sometimes on social media, but moments, they live on forever. People remember the moments, and moments come with microphones in your hand. Moments come from storytelling. Moments come when it's good versus evil and it's been built up for month after month. And it's not just matches. It's these character moments and it's these stories finally coming together and paying off. So again, I encourage everybody that if you have the opportunity to grab the microphone, grab the goddamn microphone and talk your shit, dog. Come on.
And on the independents, there's not always a story, like you said, 1 week you could be doing something, the next week that person might be booked somewhere else, not do something else, and you get in around a match. Sometimes you got to build that story and build that anticipation for the match right before the match, and that's something a manager such as yourself can do for the match and for the opponents, for the opponent and whoever you're managing, to build them a story before that match starts, so the people are watching that match like, man, we can't wait for the person B to get his hands on person A's manager and whoop his ass. So it's an art that I think.
You're not as dumb as you look, actually. You're pretty smart.
Thank you.
But and the thing is, like, Frank the Clown's always been about storytelling, and some of his stories at promotions have went on for a year, and there's continuity and then there's consistency to it. And again, like you said, it's difficult because we do have busy schedules and fans have busy schedules. So it's you always kind of want to be able to tell that linear story, but sometimes you got to branch off a little bit and get creative just due to scheduling or whatever it may be. But yes, you raise a great point. It's tough, but matches are great, and having great wrestling matches is awesome. But
always again, and always will be. But we get so much of them now that's in my opinion, I could be wrong, is not because we get so many good matches on a weekly basis from the stuff that's televised and the stuff that's not televised. Literally everywhere, everyone wants to become good wrestlers and put on bangers. That's not what makes you stand out anymore, in my opinion. It can. Every rare person might be the gem that will make you stand out because you're really good at wrestling matches. There's a specific company that will love you if you're really good at wrestling matches. But that all being said, if you can stand out in other ways and you have other skills and other, you can wear other hats, it'll let you stand out a little bit more, I think, especially with all this new WWE ID stuff out there. If you're trying to fall on the radar, yes, understand and get the foundation, be a great wrestler, but what else do you have to offer? I think that's something that everyone should be considering. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy, the Wrestling Classic here, guys. I want to let you guys know that there's a limited edition Wrestling Classic tee. I'm wearing it right now, but I got to show you the back because it's in collaboration with none other than HQ Clothing, guys. It says Conquered in the back because that's what we do. We're out here conquering it every day, guys. Wear this shirt, remember to conquer it, do the thing, keep doing the thing. HQ Clothing, Headquarters Clothing, limited edition Wrestling Classic shirts. There's only like 70 left. There's only 100 printed. Make sure you get them before they're gone. I truly, truly, truly appreciate your support. Conquer it. Get it now. Put the link in the description below. You have a really, obviously, you have a good relationship with the Foley family, as everyone knows, and you've done quite a bit with Mick Foley in the past. What is your relationship with Mick Foley today with, you being who's sitting in front of me right now?
So it's interesting timing because we're filming this on a Tuesday, and this coming Saturday in Seminole, Florida, which is near Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, we're going to be at Pride of Wrestling. Frank the Clown's been there now a couple times, but this time's going to be different because good old Cactus Mick Foley is going to be there as he is a special enforcer in the Florida Championship match between one of my best friends, Auguste Artois, taking on the Florida champion, Daniel Starling. So Cactus, unbeknownst to me, was revealed as the special enforcer for this match. Frank the Clown and Mick Foley have a complicated relationship, we'll say. Whether it's in the ring or out of the ring, we've obviously been in each other's lives for the better part of a decade now. And sometimes I'm confused by this man. And you know who I blame it on? I blame it on close personal friend of Frank the Clown's, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He blames it on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson because of all those chair shots that poor Mick Foley took back in 1999 over the course of the Attitude Era. Because I think sometimes Cactus is a little confused. He doesn't know if he loves Frank the Clown. He doesn't know if he hates Frank the Clown. He doesn't know if Frank the Clown's his son-in-law or whether or not he's just a stranger. He's confused. So hopefully this Saturday at Pride of Wrestling, he comes to the realization that, oh no, Frank, contrary to popular belief, is a very nice man who takes great care of his daughter, his sons. He's a friend to many. But, Frank the Clown and Mick have had multiple run-ins now. And one time he tried setting my genitalia on fire and leg dropped Frank the Clown's genitalia with Barbie, the barbed wire bat, in his nether regions. But then the next time we were together, he had turned and joined Frank the Clown and put Frank the Clown's mortal enemy, Storm Grayson, through a bed of thumbtacks at Freelance Wrestling, thus helping me and Robert Anthony win the Freelance Championship. So, I don't know what to expect out of this man. He's very volatile. So this Saturday, Pride of Wrestling, if you're anywhere near Seminole, Florida, anywhere near Florida, the Southeast, you should probably come out because your guess is as good as Frank the Clown's. But Thanksgiving is right around the corner. The holidays right around the corner. The Foleys love Christmas, let me tell you. Will it be an awkward Thanksgiving? Will there be coal under Frank the Clown's tree? Will there be coal in his stocking? Will we be exchanging presents? Will we be, splitting a fruit cake together? Frank the Clown has no idea, but it's gonna be interesting.
It's always an interesting Christmas dinner, I assume. I gotta ask you just for fun though. You gotta rank the three faces of Foley from favorite to least favorite. Cactus, Mankind, Dude. How are we doing this?
I would say from worst to best, I'm gonna go Mankind number 3, Cactus Jack number 2, Dude Love number 1. And the reason I say that is because Dude Love's more of an innocent man. He doesn't really get hurt as much. Frank the Clown doesn't want to see anything terrible happen to Mick Foley. I mean, if something terrible did happen to him, would Frank the Clown take a large sum of his bank account? Perhaps, but he wouldn't want anything to happen to him. But Dude Love was a very colorful cat, a cool cat, as he would say. Frank the Clown's a cool cat. He's very colorful as well. So naturally, there's some synergy there. But Frank the Clown doesn't trust Mankind. He's too wacky. He's too creepy. Frank the Clown has heard Mick cutting Mankind promos literally for cameo, like in the bedroom next to him, and it's kept him up late at night sometimes. So it's kind of that's a true story.
Has Frank the Clown had a run-in with Dude Love?
No. I'm not quite sure how that would wind up. Would we dance
I don't know.
together?
So we know what could happen with Cactus. We know what could happen with Mankind. Obviously,
Yeah.
Mick, you said is volatile, but dude,
Yeah.
love and Frank the Clown.
Frank the Clown likes to think that it would be a joyous occasion, but again, it's the same brain in all three men, so we don't know what we're getting.
What makes you the manager people should want? If you were trying to acquire talent right now, or people were trying to reach out to you to be part of the Frank the Clown family, what would you say is the benefit of having you in their corner?
Frank the Clown has longevity. Frank the Clown has a platform that many do not have. Frank the Clown, whether people realize this or not, has been a fixture in wrestling for over a decade. Obviously, in Frank the Clown's prior life, he was what you like to call a superfan, was in the front row of many WWE shows. If you turn on pay-per-views from like 2010 to 2013, you're going to see a rainbow wig in the crowd. And why the hell did anyone not stop me from wearing a wig? But you know, and again, I was part of Holy Foley on the WWE Network back in 2016. So the reality television star, for lack of a better term. So Frank the Clown built up this audience on social media for years and years, but then decided to parlay that into what he's doing now, which is being an in-ring performer, a personality, manager, character, whatever you want to call it. So again, we talk about those connections. Frank the Clown has connections anywhere and everywhere, but the platform that Frank the Clown provides for talent is unmatched in some senses, because you're going to get new eyeballs on you. You're going to get opportunities that you didn't have before. Ask those that I have worked with. Ask those that Frank the Clown has worked with. Trevor Outlaws, Storm Graysons, a lot of the young guys in the Midwest and down the Southeast here and really everywhere. Ask them where their careers were pre-Frank the Clown and where they're at now. And they'll all tell you, and this is not me blowing smoke of anybody's ass, they are in a better spot now than they were then. So again, Frank the Clown, people sometimes have me misunderstood, right? You know me, Justin. I'm a great guy. Great guy. Okay. For some reason, the internet has painted me to be this villain. Me, Frank the Clown, a villain? Never. No. But again, I'm going to take anyone who is standing with me straight to the top, because Frank the Clown only gets out of bed for two things: main events and championships.
There you go, guys. That is Frank the Clown's plea to let you know why he might be the manager you're looking for. I like to wrap it up with this one last really quick question. And I asked everybody this, and I feel like I probably didn't ask you this back in 2020. Ooh. But looking back at everything right now, you're still young, you're still in the game, you got a whole future ahead of you. But as of right now, that Frank the Clown that was sitting front row at WWE pay-per-views in a wig, do you feel like you've made your younger self proud?
100%. It wasn't necessarily a dream of mine to be like a wrestler. I'm not the largest guy in the world, we'll say. You know, I'm not the most athletic man in the world, but I always felt like I could contribute to the business in some way, shape, or form. Just didn't quite understand how to navigate and get there. And it was not easy. People did not want me in wrestling, like as a character in the ring. They didn't think I belonged. And it was very treacherous from the start. Really, like my run started kind of in 2018, but I was doing very spot shows like in 2017. I mean, very seldom. I mean, they're few and far between. So once I started getting consistent, it was like 2018-ish, and now we're going on 6 years worth. But those first couple of years were tough. I heard people talking shit about me all the time. I saw it on social media. I could just see the looks, and you could just feel vibes from people when you're around them. They just didn't want me anywhere around. So I had to earn that respect. People say, Frank the Clown didn't pay dues. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. I paid dues in a completely different way, where I was shit on and stomped on and disrespected straight to my face many a times. For what? Because I loved wrestling. Frank the Clown loved wrestling because he was in the front row, because he had access to everybody's heroes. I don't understand, but people tend to hate on others' success. Jealousy is an ugly color, but many people wear it. And it took a long time, but now Frank the Clown's getting some of the respect that he deserves. Still not enough, but to the Frank the Clown in 2010, 2011 that you brought up, 100%. He's come a long way. He's not wearing a wig anymore. He actually committed to dyeing his hair. That's a big plus. But Frank the Clown's figured it out, and we're only just getting started.
You know, that reminds me of a story. I don't think we've ever really talked about it. But I'm going to tell you now because it's like so many years ago. I remember 2018, New Orleans. Obviously, we're all there. It was WrestleMania weekend. And you're going to do a spot at the Joey Janela Spring Break. And I think it was someone was supposed to pull you over the railing, bring you to the, or you're something like that. They smack you, that leads to a match, some stuff like that. And I remember standing with a bunch of people there that, you know, were doing stuff for the company at the time. And they said, you know, they tried to like encourage, like, Justin, don't do anything like that. Like, just don't be a mark and don't do shit like that. And now we look forward and to see where you are now. Like, that's advice I wouldn't take, you know. Back then I was kind of like, oh, what do you mean? Is that like a bad look? Is that something you're not supposed to do? Like, but you overcame all those barriers and you overcame all that stigma, and now you're booked regularly, you're on shows, you're managing people. And I think that's really cool, because a lot of those people that said that stuff to me, I don't even know what they're doing anymore. I don't even know where they are. I don't know if they're still involved with wrestling. They probably are, and that's what I'm not saying any names. They probably are, and they're probably doing cool stuff that I don't know about, but I don't know about it. And I'm the Wrestling Classic, so I know about a lot. So it's like, to see that you're still on the radar, you're still on social media, you're doing this thing, and it went from people being like, hey, don't do what he's doing. That makes you look a certain way, and you're still doing it, and you went through all of that, whatever shit people talked or whatever anybody said, you went through all that, and you're still doing it. Like, that's super cool, you know?
They tried to write Frank the Clown off, but Frank the Clown didn't write back. And
yeah,
it's everybody's path is different. Mine was a little bit more unorthodox than others, but you know, it's everybody's journey is different. And as long as you get to that destination that you're heading towards, who the hell cares how you got there, baby? So I keep doing my thing, whether people like it or not, and they're just going to have to learn to accept it.
And you got to block the noise. There's a lot of noise that, you know, if I look, you know, you can't change the past, look back. But I learned from now, I'm like, oh, there's some things I should have just kept doing what I was doing because it was working. And I think one thing I think with you is you kept doing what you were doing and it worked. So shout out to you. Guys, if you haven't, check out Frank the Clown. Follow him. Check him out on social. It's entertaining. It's funny. He knows what he's doing. He gets it. And, you know, sometimes he gets in a little trouble, and you know, and he's got the volatile Mick Foley around that sometimes throws him around. He's got Jack Talos, who's like a giant I've hung out with. He's a big man. So if you see Frank the Clown on the card, go check him out. Go see what he's up to, and I guarantee you'll get your money's worth.
100%. Nobody has the body of work Frank the Clown does right now. Nobody is doing what Frank the Clown is doing, going from promotion to promotion, securing championship in main event after main event, baby. Let's go.
Guys, anything last thing you want to say, or is that it? Do you have any final words?
Frank the Clown is the best. Frank the Clown is the best.
Frank the Clown is the best. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. Keep doing the things, subscribe, like, and all that fun stuff.
It's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.